gone. Probably one of the workers had it out here. But yeah, I and my legs was thinking about this hill overnight. This is part of the come up. New mountain, new hill. I've been training my whole life for this one hill. And it's gonna take me on up and over my next hill. Nice challenge. But then we get this downhill. To enjoy. And this rain has somewhat settled the rocks that I was complaining about yesterday. I came through there yesterday, I ain't say nothing, but I went over that wood divider and my foot came off the pedal. I think the Most High came straight back down on it, and that it didn't slip to the left or to the right. That would have been ugly. But what the Most High say? What the Hasatan tried to trick Yahusha in by reminding him of the word. That even if you come into harm's way, the Most High will send angels, or have already given angels charge over you, so they're already there. And he goes on to say in the text that he's our rear guard himself. So you can't ask for that much more protection. And I can't help but now that I got my mind right and settled around the thought he was protecting me and that baby. Which is a big thing. Because what I couldn't get my mind around was the fact that what would I do if I had to kill that baby? Lord have mercy. Or Master have mercy. And see, that's why my motivation today is so strong, and so much stronger than ever, because I know what could have been. And I know then I would have totally been out of it, I'd say. Because I know how I felt with just the question of if I had harmed that baby. But what about if I did? Oh, thank the Most High. I know for a fact I would have been a mess. But see, the Most High, He knows and He sees it all ahead of time. And He went on and allowed that to show me that He's in control. And if you would watch that recording, you will see that I had to turn where the baby had just left instead of trying to turn away from the baby. And that's how they teach running backs to run the ball. It's not always best to try to run away from an individual, but run to the spot that he's gonna leave. Oh, thank you, Most High. Because he can't go back to the spot where his foot just left. And see, that's what the Most High just taught me about that situation. And how downright ugly the situation can be, and how Hasatan works. He works just like his name, he's devilish. And we know that Joker don't care about no babies. But he know that I do. But see, the Most High got us covered. So much so that may have been a lesson for his parents to keep a close eye on him, so they can avert, if that's the right word, the next situation, or miss it. But thank the Most High. And I'm praying that my cam is alright, because we are getting some sprinkles. And I left the waterproof case at the house. However, I'm hoping and praying that the drops are few and far between hurting my camera. Yeah, but my word of encouragement today is just like the last part of that thought. What's your motivation? What pushes you What drives you to get up in the morning and go get it? And what is the it you're going to go get? That's a great thought. As you can see, what drives me and motivates me and see what the Most High so kindly explained to me. He was like, Robert, it's not enough just to have a miraculous story or testimony, because folks' attention span is so short that miraculous testimony must be followed up with daily. See, that's what's going to keep people looking and listening, because the fact about it is, just like I said before, a lot of folks could care a hill of beans about what I'm saying. But when they keep seeing me showing up every day, busting out these squats and this walk and this ride and not talking about it, they like, uh-oh, let me see what this fella's talking about. So he gotta have some kind of story, because everybody don't be getting out like that. What's happening? Because I know I don't, and what motivates him. And see, that's when the Most High say, I got you. I use my bob and drop the bait, and you bit. I got you. He told me that one time. He said, Robert, you know why your nickname Bob? I said, no, tell me. He said, okay. He said, basically because you're my indicator and you're my bait. And when something bites off of your story, it means they taking the bait. And I got them. And you've done your job. See, the Most High told us through Yahushua that he was going to make us fishermen of men. So if we're a fisherman, every now and again we're going to need some bait, huh? And see, that's what these tremendous testimonies are that most of us have to tell. That's a pretty bird. It looks like a mixture between a blue jay and a robin. But what's your motivation? And as I was saying, pray and ask the Father to show you your motivation and if it's him. And if you're holding on to some of those things he tells us to put off in Colossians 3, I believe it is, our text of the day. And see, those are some of them hardcore sins sound like to me. Malice. That's a tough one. That means you hate somebody. But he comes back and tells us what to put on. And see, he goes back to that teaching I heard over the weekend about them family curses or evil altars that we need to tear down in our lives. This is just confirmation that we need to take off them filthy rags and put on the righteousness of the Most High. And just like that death smell I smelt under that shelter, all these things have to die. And like I was saying this morning, well, I don't think I did. I didn't even want to answer that text because, like I said, I had already apologized. So once I apologize, I'm basically done in my own words, or by my standard as a man. But the Most High had that brother on my mind this morning, and he knew that I needed to apologize again, because quite honestly, that's what the brother was doing this morning. He was offering what's called an olive branch. So how could I, as a child of the Most High, not have forbearance, not have long suffering, not have forgiveness in my heart towards my brother? And if we have any kind of argument, that I should be first to settle that thing. That's what the text says today. And here come the brother texting me saying he heard I had death in the family. And I did. Like I said in my prior recording, I had death in the family, all right. Me dying to myself and answering that text, hey buddy, and throwing out, opening the door rather, to recompense or forgiveness or making things right. Even though I'd already did that before, evidently this is his way of saying he's sorry for what happened and how it happened and his part in it, like I said. Because, see, if I didn't answer that text, Hasatan would have had a right to go to the Father and say, I'm gonna build this evil altar back in his life of unforgiveness and malice and hate and envy and strife and offense, because he refused to answer that brother's call. So to that I say, no pride, baby. Absolutely no pride. See, I told you what my motivation is. To die to self daily. And not to give that, I almost call him a nigga, not to give that nigga no room in my life. And forgive me for using that language. But no, Hasatan has to go. And see, like I say, you might not open the door, but you gotta keep that window cracked. Just for fresh air. And to give folks an opportunity. Because with the door closed, the window closed, you can't hear when they're whispering and don't want nobody else to hear them coming to you. So you have to keep the window open and say, okay, I hear you. Let me open the door, I'm coming. Just like that late night creep we used to do. Or a better idea, just like Nicodemus did. Came on the late night. Creeping. Saying, what must I do to be saved? How can I get out of the mess I'm in? And I thank the Most High for that opportunity. Because how dare I keep that window closed or go back and shut the window and spoil my witness to not only that brother, but those around the situation, and more importantly to my father and myself. Because just like with that baby, that guilt from bumping that baby has been heavy on me. This is what it was all about. Learning how to forgive myself for the mistakes that I made, even though I didn't mean to make them. But learning how to give myself a pass, and also how to give other folks a pass. Because at first, I was upset with the parents in a way, and was trying to shift the blame off myself. But see, I had to come back around and own up to my part of it. I shouldn't even been in that area with all them folks out there, even though I have a right to. And I have been coming out here every day, well, 5 days a week for the last almost 6 months, I believe, if not more. I know I've been coming out here more than 6 months altogether, walking, but riding, I would think about 6 months strong, more or less. But see, we have to stop trying to expect rights, what we have a right to. The only thing we have a show enough right to is being crucified with the Machiach and coming back and saying, I no longer live, but it's him that lived through me. And the life I now live, I live through and by him. And his orders and his plans for my life. But yes, it takes sacrifice. And that's what the Most High was teaching me about them altars over the weekend. He was like, every time you tear down an altar, that's a sacrifice. But every time you sacrifice for me, then I got something for you. On deck. On deck. Let's see what we got. After I got home and started editing my recording for today, I had another thought that I had to come back on and share. And it's one of, what is your motivation? And when I thought about that, it was put on my Ruach, I know by the Most High, that some of us, we don't have a motivation for the Most High's kingdom. We're still selfish. We still have those items that he asks us to put off. But more or less, we're selfish. We haven't had a good taste of the Most High, or should I say we haven't had a good taste of him letting us go on out and do our own thing. Yes, we've had scrapes with Hasatan, but we haven't had that Job experience yet, like I've had. And and I hate to use this word because of something I learned over the weekend about them altars and how we set up altars at crossroads. And that's why it was saying, the teacher was saying that most people you hear about setting up altars or setting up compacts or making contracts with Hasatan, they do it at crossroads. Just like you hear a lot of country singers or old blues singers saying they made a contract with the devil. They made them on a crossroad. And see, that's what I was going to say. A lot of us hadn't been to that crossroad yet, to where we have to make that decision whether we're going to follow the Most High or we're going to go on and follow Hasatan. But see, the Most High will allow you to go through some things if you continue to be motivated by selfish ambition or selfishness, period. But I had to come back and say that, and that we're to, like I said, my encouraging word for today is to press into the Most High and ask him to show you your motives and show you if you're actually motivated by the kingdom and his children and for his love, period, or you still motivated by your selfish love and your selfish thoughts and your selfish gain. And this is a very important thought that we all need to consider daily, not just every once and again or every now and again, but we need to get up in the morning and ask ourselves, like I said before in my recording when I was riding, what is our motivation? What gets us up in the morning? What pushes us? What motivates us to get out and go and do? And what are we going to do? Like I said, what causes us to go get it? And what are we going to get? Okay, stay up and keep pushing forward in the right direction. Oh yeah, one more thing. I do apologize for the way I cut off my recording because I was getting too wet. I got caught right there in the end of the rain, or the beginning of the rain again. It was sprinkling basically all day, but I was able to get all my my ride in, and I was able to work out my new path that I'm gonna be taking to equal up to my 5+ miles per day without going into the infield of the park where all the people be. But stay up and keep pushing forward in the right direction. Shalom.